Croeso sianel Blaid Llwyd. Fresh from the bakery, it's Automne. This is a very new VN. It just came out very recently, and I checked it out, and I definitely wanted to play it as soon as I went through it on my own time. So here we are. This is the first part of the series, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. It's still a work in progress, as all these things are, so there's a few backgrounds they do need to add in at some point to this build, but everything takes a bit of time to get done with a VN. As if you watch some of my older videos, you can see some of the VNs have changed over time. But definitely I'd suggest giving these ones a follow on itch.io, and you can check things out and follow there. But anyway, before I say anything else, let's just start up the story. It's a small plane. I think my dad used to call them puddle jumpers. The boy next to me has slept the entire flight, his solid frame pressing me against the wall of the plane. I reach up and brush the hair away from my eyes, then settle my forehead against the cool window. It's dark out. Lights are scattered across the land below in an intricate pattern. The intercom crackles. Ladies and gentlemen, we begin our descent into Alder Falls. Please turn off and stow all electronic devices. At this time, we ask for all seatbacks to return to the full and upright position. Please secure any carry-on items and stow your tray tables as we prepare for landing. There's a grunt followed by a snore as the boy shifts in his seat, either feigning sleep or missing the announcement entirely. Only when the steward strolls through the aisle and shakes the gentleman awake does he follow directions. After he has a scowl on his face. These planes are small, so it must be uncomfortable for him. I continue to gaze out the window, tugging at the collar of my jacket to help with airflow. My eyes wander back and forth across the changing landscape, picking out the river the town is named after, along with the hard-topped dome of the local college. My ears pop during the descent, and I swallow hard to equalise the pressure. Tyres give the faintest squeak as rubber hits the tarmac, and the plane shakes when all wheels finally touch down. When I was younger, 3 different airlines serviced the local airport. We no longer have the luxury of options when flying into Alder Falls. It's only American Airlines now. 2 flights a day, 1 in the morning and 1 coming in godly late at night. As there's no other traffic to fight, it only takes a few minutes to taxi to the gate. The seatbelt sign dims, and all around me people are hurrying to their feet and popping the overhead bins. I just wait. Breathing becomes a little easier as the boy steps into the aisle, finally giving me room to relax. The bunny couple across the way looks annoyed with his girth. They look over at me and, assuming to find camaraderie, roll their eyes. I just wait. When the plane is almost empty, I reach down and pull a bursting backpack from beneath the seat in front of me. As I stand, I realise just how hot the plane is. I'm damp. I'm uncomfortable. I pull my duffel free of the overhead bin and sling it in front of me so I can fit down the narrow aisle. As I exit the plane, the steward flashes me a very feline smile, the same as appeared any time I've glanced his way during the flight. Enjoy your stay in Alder Falls. He may be flirting, but it's late. It's hot. I just want to go to bed, so all I can do is mumble in return. Thanks. The jet bridge is cool, refreshingly so. The sense of relief hits me as I pass through to the terminal. My eyes squint at the harsh fluorescent light. It's a big change from the plane. I don't have to look long, though. The only other squirrel in the small waiting area stands, her lips put into a wide smile as she sees me and makes her way over. Hi, Ma. It comes out quiet as I drop the duffel to my side. The hesitance, ache and happiness I'm feeling are present as I curl my arms around her for a ferocious hug. "Oh, it's so good to see you." I can tell she's trying to hold back her emotions. The hug alone is proof of that. When it finally breaks, she places both hands on my shoulders, an eyebrow raising as her tail flicks behind her. "Checked luggage?" I tap the duffel bag with my foot and shrug. Just this." Though it's more than the last time I was home, she glances between the bag on the floor and the bag on my back. "You always did travel light." She goes to pick up the duffel bag and I object. "It's all right, I got it." At about that time I realise my brothers aren't here. "Caleb and Evan at home?" There's a rich chuckle before she answers. "Dear, it's after 11 and a school night. I'm sure they're long asleep by now." I give a mischievous grin. "I don't know. When I was 16, this was about the perfect time to get up to trouble." Her fingers prod my chest. "When you were 16, your father was around to help keep you in line." That stings a little, so I carry on smiling and heft my shoulders in a shrug. I grab my second bag and flick my head toward the exit. Without another word, we step into the crisp autumn air. She's parked a little ways down the loading zone. One of the nice things about a small airport is they don't really bother with ticketing and towing. She's also friends with a few of the folks who work for American here, so that helps. I toss my bags into the back of a station wagon, then climb into the front seat, making sure to pull my tail to the side so as not to sit on it. She starts the car and turns my way. "Just want to let it warm up a little. It's getting pretty old." I nod in return. "Kinda like us." There's a quiet sigh before she responds even quieter. "Yes." She pulls away from the curb and begins the quick drive back home. I haven't been back in 3 years. Not since my father passed. She keeps looking forward, but she finally says, "I know it's late. I know you probably don't want to talk about it now." Her voice cracks slightly. "But I just want to let you know I'm sorry about what happened with your job and your partner." My eyes burn. I can't tell if it's the dry air from the plane or I'm trying to convince myself that because I can feel tears welling up. "Thanks, Ma." I rub my nose against the back of my hand, then reach up to rub my eyes with thumb and forefinger. The rest of the ride is pretty quiet, which helps me calm down and just think about bed. She pulls up and parks. I look out of the window of the house I grew up in. "You paint it?" "Yeah, it's green now. It's nice." We undo our seatbelts and step out into the cool night air. I gather my bags and follow her up and into the house. She glances over her shoulder. "I've gone ahead and changed your sheets on your bed. You know where the towels are, if you want to take a shower tonight, that is." I give a warm smile, toeing off my shoes. "I'd just like to go to bed." She gives me another hug and kisses my cheek before pulling back. "Go do that. Sleep well." I sneak as quietly as I can upstairs into my old room. Deja vu sets in hard as I look around. Aside from the few belongings I took when I graduated from college, everything is still the same. I set both bags at the foot of the dresser, then look at the collected toys and trinkets scattered across the wood surface. I can tell the room has been cleaned recently. My shoulders shrug as I work off my leather jacket. It's tossed into the nearby armchair. I peel the shirt I'm wearing off my body and undo my pants. Both are abandoned on the floor, and with a zip I retrieve my phone charger from a pocket on the side of my backpack. Heavy feet guide me to the bed. My fingers curl beneath the comforter, blanket and sheet, drawing them back before I take a seat on the edge of the bed. My tail curls tight behind me as I lean down and take off my socks. Toes splay and then I shift, pulling the surge protector beneath the bed and plugging my phone into charge. I click the home button and swipe up to bring the device out of airplane mode. I wait a moment, seeing if I have any new messages, before climbing into the pile of blankets and rolling onto my stomach. Even though it has been years, the bed still smells like me. Well, A younger me. My right arm tucks under the pillow and sleep follows quickly. It only seems like a moment has passed, but bright morning light has come to rest on my face, drawing me from slumber reluctantly. I smack my lips, mouth feeling tacky and dry, want nothing more than a cup of coffee. Climbing out of bed reveals how stiff I am, and I gingerly approach the door, peeking out before I descend the stairs and head to the kitchen. My tail is still waking up, gives a few slow shakes behind me as I go through the motions of making a pot of coffee. Still the same drip machine, so being half asleep isn't a problem. Filter, coffee, tap water, start. As the machine comes to life, I open the cabinet above and pull down a small white coffee mug. Time seems to crawl, but eventually the machine comes to a stop with a gurgle. I pick up the pot of coffee, pour slowly, then return it to the warming plate. I collect the mug with both hands, warming them before heading back up to my room. Floorboards creak along the way, my ears twitch as I start to hear the faint noises of stirring bodies. I shut my door, then reach down and lock it. It's a few steps to the window, and I draw back the curtains, taking a good look out at my street for the first time since I arrived last night. Yes, my street. The curtains fall back into place with a soft thump as I finally set them free. I curl my free hand once more around the coffee mug and lift it to my lips, pursing to blow across the surface of my drink. The muffled sound of laughter brings a lopsided smile to my face. I think that's Evan. I'll have to ask what was so funny later. I breathe deeply, enjoying the rich, almost metallic smell of my coffee. The ceramic is hot against my lips, drawing a throaty grunt from me as I take my first drink. It's just after 7 in the morning, and based on my look outside, the weather cooled off enough overnight for frost to stick. As quickly as I savour that first sip of coffee, the mug is abandoned on my bedside table. Reaching down to the charging station, partially hidden under the bed, I retrieve my phone. With an over-exaggerated stretch, my body falls back, hitting the mattress with yet another soft thump. At 32, I wasn't expecting me living at home. Yet here I am. Knuckles wander across my chest, scratching, so I yawn and wriggle back till I'm half under the comforter again. Oh, if I could just sleep till spring. I mumble while thumbing in the code to unlock my phone. Then again, I'm not a bear. My lips pull into a buck-tooth smile at my silly joke, and I flick the screen a few times and open one of my favourite apps, Rougher. Eyes travel over the door for a brief second, making sure it's locked, for I let my unoccupied hands sneak down and adjust myself through my briefs. Perfect squares with perfect men. It's never been a boost for self-esteem. The warrior in me has always loved these kind of apps. It's a bit of worry at the back of my head, wondering if anyone I know also uses the app. But after looking at a few handsome faces and headless torso shots, I push it aside. Plus, I haven't been home in almost 3 years. I'm sure anyone who knew me, would either be married with kids at this age, or just surprised to see me back in town. My claws need to be trimmed. I mumble while scrolling through the local meat. Having gone late, I navigate through to the viewers section. Nothing new, surprisingly, but then again my phone was in airplane mode till just before I passed out. My fingers dip beneath the hem of my briefs, sending a shiver down my spine as I tickle myself accidentally. As I click back to the main menu, I go on and slip my hand fully into my underwear, reaching down to cut my nuts and give them a firm squeeze. I just lay there like that, gentle pressure on my balls as I begin to examine each little square a bit more closely. As a squirrel, I feel like I should be more intimidated by the toothy smiles and mock snarls on some of these faces. But a wolf's a wolf, right? That said, there are some pretty good-looking wolves who aren't that far away. I'm much less interested in other prey like me, but I can still appreciate a chiseled body or... There is this deer, and his smile is nice. Gorgeous. That black fur framing his lips. It's defining. My hand shifts from my nuts up to my hard-on as I adjust and finally let the tip of my cock pop free from my boxer briefs. While settling, I've navigated into his profile and have clicked on his picture so I can zoom in and just admire. I tap out his picture and scroll down so I can read his profile. It's abrupt and pretty off-putting. No fats, no femmes. Of course it starts off that way. I growl under my breath, tell everyone it's best to do that annoyed squirrel shake into the comforter. If I want to get back in the closet, I certainly wouldn't do it for this guy. As sexy as he is, the text has certainly dampened the mood. My softening cock agrees completely. Hey, hang in there, buddy. I coo down at my own crotch. I'll keep things moving. I back out of the buck's profile, mumbling about how it's 2 bags. He really does have a nice rack. My eyes flicker on the rows of selfies, vacation shots, and half-naked bodies. I'm almost bored as I slowly tug my dick and click into the profiles of a few other men. A few handsome coyotes, a boyish field mouse who I only click on because I can't believe for a moment he's my age, a thick tiger who's all muscle and has a paunch on for fucking in sports gear. The football kit he has on looks great. So until I scroll down, refreshing the listings, I notice a pretty modest full body shot. Hello. It comes out as a whisper. I give pause the affection I'm showing myself. There's a gentle knock at the door. I quickly glance at the top of the screen to see it's almost 8. Doesn't feel like an hour has passed. Then again, as I look down and notice the feather and a free across my stomach, reality sets in. I'm awake. I choke while stuffing myself back into my undies. Of course you are. Don't expect your brothers to know how to make coffee. Comes the amused voice from the other side of the door. Just want to let you know that I'm about to take the twins to school. There's some buckwheat pancakes and bacon holding in the oven if you want them. Oh, thanks, Ma. My body shifts and rolls to the side as I prop up on my elbow and grab my new, now lukewarm cup of coffee to slug it. You're quite welcome, Corey. There's a pause. It's good to have you home. We love you. I have no idea how I missed her approach. The floorboard in the hallway gives a deep creak as she wanders back to the stairs. My ears perk and swivel, and I breathe through my nose as I finish up my mug of coffee. I hear her bark after a few. Heaven, Caleb, you're going to be late for school. In unison she gets a reply. Come in. Feet are stomping down the hall. God, was I this loud when I was their age? I'll have to ask Ma. Then there's a quick rhythmic stamping as they race down the stairs. The door opens and slams, and just a nice golden silence. I'm not horny anymore, so I set the phone on the nightstand to get on up and head over to my duffel. Now that I'm free from the warmth of the bed, I can really tell how chilly it is. I shuffle around clothes, find what I'm looking for, and toss a pair of jeans and a baseball tee onto the bed. The last thing I pull free is a pair of yoga pants. I shimmy into them, then grab my drop kit and head to the door. There's an audible click as I undo the lock, and even though I know I'm alone, I peek my head into the hallway first, glancing in either direction before I slip out and head to the bathroom. Once the door is closed, I hook up my thumbs on my waistline and chuck pants and underwear in one quick go. I kick them aside and open the glass-doored cabinet to retrieve a towel. Not sure what I'll get up to today, but even though the clawfoot tub is calling my name, I don't really want to commit to that much time in the bathroom. I draw the vinyl curtain on the recessed shower, then reach in to start the water. My hand adjusts the timer on the combo fan and heat lamp. If I'm here for longer than 15 minutes, I can't be guaranteed hot water. Maybe I should use some of my savings to get a new hot water heater for the house. Mom has mentioned the current one has been dying for at least a year now. After threading the towel through the rack on the wall next to the shower, I dip back to the sink, hands resting against the edge of the porcelain basin as I inspect myself in the mirror. I lean forward to check for bags under my eyes. Iowa is only a 2-hour time difference from the Bay, but even that's enough to mess up my sleep. Satisfied, I take a long look at myself. For a squirrel, I have a decent build. Not overly bulky, just chipped away to the right proportions. I turn, reflection following suit obviously, and flex. A buck-toothed grin emerges as I watch muscle take more visible shape under my downy white fur. That giant bristle tail of mine shakes approvingly as my eyes take in that rounded ass. there's anything I made sure to take away from my personal trainer, it was a proper form on squats. My nose itches. I rub it. Oh, sweet fuck. I look at my hand with disgust, then come to the realization the smell is me. It's somewhere between vinegar and, well, not good. I laugh, making a note to wash my balls, then dip over to the shower. Steam is billowing up the 6-3 inches at the top, so I make sure to check the temperature before getting in. Hot, not scalding. As I step in, my body relaxes, and I lean against the wooden wall. Having so much fur means I feel heavy when I get this soaked, but it's good. A sobering affirmation to what's real. Unconsciously I grab my shampoo from the shower caddy. I blink a few times, water running down my muzzle. Wait, it's in my DOP kit. The bottom of my hand is the right brand though. Of course Ma would make sure what I need is in the house. It's almost like I haven't left. Having albinism means I have sensitive skin. I know this stuff isn't cheap, so I'll have to pay her back. Lord knows she won't want to take the money, so I'll sneak it into a purse or something. Using my thumb claw, I pop open the plastic lid. I squeeze a decent amount of the clear gel into my left hand, then place the bottle back in the caddy. With my fur this wet, I won't need to keep the water running, at least not while I lather up. Making sure not to adjust the temperature, I press on the faucet, pausing the flow of water for now. Though it costs an arm and a leg, this shampoo has always been amazing. You don't really need much to get clean, even when you're as hairy as I am. The hands make quick work of it, bringing the shampoo to a nice foam before I begin to work into my wet fur. I'm sure that being crammed into a full flight with heaters running full blast, along with sleeping under a cold weather down comforter is why I stink. So first priority is obviously those trouble spots. I tuck my hands under my arms briefly, leaving a bit of soap while rubbing at my crotch and under my balls. I reach back into my tail, which looks ridiculous soaking wet, around my mitt along the cleft of my rump. With the soap more or less distributed, I get to cleaning in earnest. My ears perk as I hear it all chirp. 5 minutes until the heat lamp is off. I build a lather through my tail, fingers doing their best to run through the fur of the unruly appendage. God, you can be annoying. I mumble as if flicks in agitation, almost like a kid that doesn't want to be cleaned. By this point I'm chilly from the lack of hot water. I put on the faucet, then after an audible grunt as hot water flows over my form. I shut my eyes, head dipping and chin meeting on my chest as the suds roll down my body. It only takes a minute or so to rinse fully. Shutting off the water, I draw back the shower curtain and reach for my towel. I dry as best I can. Having such thick fur means a hairdryer is necessary to finish the job. The heat lamp clicks off as I go about this task. I won't have to get in my tail to just damp to accept I'm not going to hurry the process along. I leave the soaked towel in the back of the tub. Water pools away and runs slowly toward the drain. I retrieve my yoga pants and crack the door. Ma? My ears go perked as I listen for a reply. Oh, good. She's still out. So I strut on back to my room, tail flicking behind me. At the moment of writing to my duffel again, I pull out a new pair of briefs and a thick pair of socks. I hum to myself as I get dressed. No song in particular, just humming. After putting on my shirt, I retrieve my phone from the nightstand, press the home button once to give it life, and grin as I stare at the screen. There's a message. It simply reads, "Hey." I unlock the phone and rougher populates the screen again. Oh man, I forgot about you. The profile that caught my interest is once more highlighted. I'll be back, I say with my best Austrian accent. Back button, menu, messages. Wait, it was him. He wrote. I click into his profile from the chat log and tap his picture. He's a Wolverine. What I can see in the picture, that stereotype of being a glutton just may be true. Looks like a giant. When something interests me, I have this habit of taking in every detail, like down to minutiae. In the photo, he wears an apologetic grin. Combined with his hazel eyes, he almost looks sad. His hands are raised like he's shooing away whoever is taking the photo. They're huge. I tap his photo, then press pinched fingers to the screen and drag them apart to zoom in. This is when I take in all those tiny details. The deep V of his shirt, those leather patches on the elbows of his tweed blazer, how the fabric of his clothes bunch under his pecs and around his crotch. I mean, I'm looking at the style of stitching, the metals used for grommets and buckles. It's ridiculous. I finally stopped myself, zoomed back out and scrolled up to take in his handsome face once again. My thumb pauses over the back button, but I want to read his profile before I respond. He's local, only half a mile away. Fuck, he is huge. 6'6" and 300 pounds. I scroll, ears flicking back slightly as I read, widowed. I can't but wonder if the person who took the photos is his deceased partner. There's no mention of age, and the body of his profile is simple enough. Like cooking, reading, mostly fiction, and using my hands to create. Spend too much time alone and working to change that. I click the back button once again, returning to the chat. There's butterflies in my stomach. I really don't know how to answer, so I choose the most inane way to progress the conversation. Howdy, I quickly type back before pressing send. I flop on the bed again, run onto my side and reaching back to tuck my tail free so it can continue to dry. How are you? I follow up a brief moment later. I thumb the power button on the side of the phone and stretch, body giving a little quiver as I yawn. My phone buzzes, startling me. I drop it to the floor. Well, that was quick. I roll to my stomach and reach down to grab it. Draped half off the bed, I thumb the home button again, quickly reading his reply. Good, first frost last night. You in town visiting? Something like that, I type in return. Grew up in the area and back for an indefinite period of time. Send. I nudge back from the edge of the bed and stare at the screen. Welcome back. And a moment later, I'm Stefan. It's a pleasure. I'm Corey. My thumbs type out quickly in response. For me too, comes a second later. A stupid grin finds its way to my face. When the next message pops up, I laugh. So, what kinds of things do you put in jars? It's been a while since I've updated my profile. I've forgotten that I put that in there. Beach glass, corks, agate, string, things like that. There's a longer pause for his next message. That sounds nice. Very organised way to keep collections. I'm something of an amateur chef, so I was wondering if you meant canning or jams or jellies. I reach back and drag a hand through the fur of my tail. More or less dry, so I roll onto my back and carry on the conversation. Well, I can hold my own in the kitchen. I wouldn't boast of my abilities. After clicking send, I remember the bacon and pancakes waiting downstairs. I don't want to get out of bed. The edge of hunger is setting in. With a grunt, I sit up and sling my legs off the bed. My phone is slipped into the pocket of my jeans and I head on downstairs. Once in the kitchen, I turn off the oven. It was only set to 200. Hopefully the pancakes haven't dried out too much. My pocket vibrates, brick and weight. So I grab a plate and an oven mitt, retrieve the follow-line cookie tray from the oven and set it atop the stove. Utensils are still in the same drawer, and I pause, then look at the rest of the kitchen and out into the dining room. Aside from what's held on the fridge with magnets, and more pictures of Evan and Caleb, not much has changed. I open the fridge and grab the maple syrup, my pocket buzzing again. Someone's thirsty. I laugh. As the door is closing, a paper flutters off, revealing a picture of me. A much younger version of me, probably about the same age as the twins. I reach up, pressing a couple of fingers to the photo, wonder how similar I am to that old version of me. Don't get sappy. I roll my eyes at myself while retrieving the paper. A report card, it turns out, from the floor. It's returned to the fridge door beneath a magnet of a pineapple. My grandmother's, I believe. And I get to prepping breakfast. Unfortunately, the time I spent edging, showering and just generally dicking around has left the pancakes a little dry. Buckwheat pancakes are good. They don't tend to retain moisture the same way traditional pancakes do. The bacon is also quite crispy. Nothing a little syrup can't fix, though. I then do the cap on the grade B. My pocket vibrates yet again. I can't help but smile as I pour a generous amount of syrup across my breakfast, making note that the rich amber is pretty close to the wolverine's fur. I abandon the jug on the counter, then start to cut up my stack using the side of my fork. This point I pull my phone from my pocket. I click the home button power on the device. I feel only a little sad when I see that I've only gotten 2 messages from the Gulo. The other a text from my mom. Heading to the store to pick up a few things. Need anything? As its most recent message, I answer it first. Could use a new toothbrush. Medium firmness, please. Also, please let me pay for anything you bought when you knew I was coming home. Back out of messages and flick back over to Ruffer, returning to the conversation I started with Stefan. Eyes dart over his messages in quick succession. Good, I like a partner who can keep up. Followed 7 minutes later by, apologies, that was presumptuous of me. His sad smile flashes on my mind and immediately I feel guilty for not responding quicker. My thumbs fly across the miniature keyboard on the screen. Oh, sorry, my stomach started rumbling when I got to thinking about food and had to get something to eat. I click send, but follow up with a photo of the pancakes and bacon too. I grab the fork, spearing both bacon and pancake, then take a bite. Maple syrup rolls slowly down my chin, so I clean it up with a knuckle, then lick my finger clean. The combination of sweet and salt and earth is really good. A lot of people don't really like buckwheat because it does have that nutty, almost earthiness to it, but to me it feels like home. His next response is also an apology. Sorry, I guess it is breakfast. I just thought I may have said something wrong. My nails click on the screen. Please stop apologising. It's quite alright. Smiley face. I don't know if emotes are appropriate or not, but it's the only thing I can think to add to really show him it's fine. I've been anticipating the next question, but wasn't sure how direct he would be. So, what do you usually look for in a guy? I take another bite, thinking about that. With how sincere he's been, I'm honestly not sure how to answer. Usually by this point I'm at least familiar with the other guy's junk. Cockshots are the usual response to hello in San Francisco. What a hard question. They have to have at least somewhat nice teeth, I finally answer. Which after rereading makes me look just a little bit crazy, so I follow it up with, bad teeth scare me. Which also after rereading makes me look even more crazy, so I swallow what I'm chewing and quickly type out, but really it's about chemistry, right? How well you get along, how you complement each other. I shouldn't be worried about using emotes, his answer is simply LOL. I can feel my ears flush as I slap a piece of bacon and smear it through the syrup. A couple more messages from him in short order though. Very true. The teas made me laugh, actually laugh, and compatibility and chemistry are very important. As I nibble the over-crisp bacon, I can't really think of how to respond, so I just continue with what I've got. Smiley face. I get really uncomfortable around people with bad teeth. I don't know why. I do know why, but I don't want to tell him. His response is quick. Mine are normal. I can only assume the picture he sends was just taken. He's smiling. It's genuine and so different from the one in the photo I'd studied earlier. A pair of copper-framed glasses sits atop his muzzle. Don't think he's wearing a shirt, but it's hard to tell since this really is just a candid selfie. That smile though. His lips are parted so I have a decent look at his teeth. They're good. A message slides down from the top of the screen. Another text from Mom. I got your toothbrush. No money needed. Maybe buy pizza tonight for us? I tap the home key and send her a quick response. Oh, sounds good. See you in a bit. Back, swipe, Ruffer. I click out of the photo, back to the conversation and find his response. See? Real teeth. Smiley face. I take a few more bites, chewing slowly before answering. You're very handsome. Again, his response is almost immediate. As are you. A couple of seconds later, another loads. This is also one of the most relaxed conversations I've had here. Thank you. Having finished breakfast, I rinse the plate and deposit it in the dishwasher. You're welcome, I type out. I take a deep breath and stretch. His response again is quick. Would you like to meet for coffee? And then just added that, if you're not busy, that is. What the hell? I say aloud before typing an answer. Cup of Joe, 10 o'clock? The response is succinct. I'll see you there, Corey. And there we go. That is build 1 of Automne. Slight pause while I tried to stop laughing after a little message that popped up at the end of those credits there. It was fine, don't worry, Baker. I'm hoping you enjoyed this first build. Oh, don't worry, we will be hearing the Wolverine's voice in the next one. And I know exactly how he's going to sound. I just haven't done it yet. It is very nice to actually see a slightly older MC. So we do get a lot in high school in their 20s and someone who's 32. I kind of like that. Yeah, I know a lot of people who watch these VNs are in that younger age range, around 18, 20s, but you know, it is nice for us older types to see ourselves more represented. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes between the two of them, and hopefully things do go well. So it looks great, and I'm very interested in this story so far. It's a good start. So well done everyone involved if you're watching this. And talk about new VNs as this one is. We do have one called Journal. Hopefully now this will be this week. It comes up. I was going to do a short video in the week while I was suffering from bronchitis, but I actually was feeling too ill to actually do a decent job on it, so I'm going to fit it in sometime this week. So just a short little video there to get started on that one, and there you can see this. And of course we'll be carrying on with Automne when builds come out. And speaking of new builds as well, Bjorn just got a public update in Dawn, so that's one to fit in soon as well. And if I remember right, Minotaur Hotel is next on the schedule for next weekend, but I'll have to check on that. Don't quote me. There'll be something next weekend anyway. But before I go, as always, I want to say thank you to all my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon. I know money is tight for a lot of us, and I really do appreciate the fact you support the channel, and I think some of you support these VNs. I do, which is also very much appreciated. But as always, I'd like to give a quick mention to my top patrons. Well, Kartek, Cobras Visser, Bastian, Ryan Hall, Tiger Cub, Ada Corval, Dissonance, Guriz, Spiderling, Kopi, Sindri Dragowolf, Evan King, Exact, Aaron Fox, Mohammed Al-Zamel, Manuel Cervantes, Rafu, Bieka, Harvest Mouse Productions, Nova Starburn, Omar, Smutu, and Andy Peng. Sorry, Enter. It's one of those days that I can't even say your name right. But thanks to all those especially, and to everyone who does support my Patreon there. I've realised we're getting close to something like 5 years of videos on this channel, which is kind of weird to think about. Maybe I will do something to kind of mark that, but I honestly have no ideas. If you think of anything, please leave a comment with some ideas, and I'll see if I can do something. It's going to be around March, I think. I have to go and check. But part 1 of Echo came up, I think it was late March. Well, we'll sort something out for that. But again, thanks for watching. Before I ramble on even more, don't forget to go and check out Automne on itch.io, and there is the not safe for work option there for you as well. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. not.